Good early afternoon. This is your hurricane and severe weather talk today. As you can see, we're looking at the Storm Prediction Center map this morning. There's a slight risk of severe thunderstorms over portions of Idaho and parts of Montana later on this afternoon to the evening. Main threats will likely be damaging winds and large hail, mainly across this region today. As you can see, the other areas today we're dealing with is just a marginal severe weather threat, just afternoon and evening pop-up showers and thunderstorms today. With any storm that develops could possibly produce damaging winds and large hails also with these storms, but the coverage is not as possibly as numerous and widespread as it could be in parts of Idaho and Montana later on this afternoon and evening. Here's tomorrow's outlook for the forecast area. Tomorrow's outlook's a little bit farther off to the east tomorrow, with portions of parts of North and South Dakota and parts of Minnesota in the risk tomorrow for some severe thunderstorms tomorrow. Damaging winds, large hail, and an isolated tornado threat is possible tomorrow. Once again, a marginal severe weather threat over portions of the Gulf Coast into the state of Florida, and also a marginal severe weather threat over parts of New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, up into the Great Lakes region. Obviously, you've been keeping an eye on the news. You can find out we have received our first tropical storm of the 2011 Atlantic hurricane season. This is Tropical Storm Arlene. As of the 11 a.m. advisory, it has winds of 50 miles an hour, moving off right now to the west at various speeds. This will likely make landfall around Tampico, Mexico, as we head into the overnight hours, into the early hours of Tuesday morning, into the early afternoon hours. Right now, the biggest threat right now appears to be the threat for landslides and mudslides, along with some marginal gusty winds. The wind threat will be marginally low, as we're looking at more of a flooding threat, with possibly some areas receiving over a foot of rain, 12 to 15 inches in some of the higher elevations of Mexico, as we head into the next few hours. So this looks like it's going to be a situation which we could have life-threatening mudslides, debris flows from the rain causing the mud flows to develop, and this could be a catastrophic situation for some areas. But the good news is some areas in northern Mexico are actually suffering from a drought. Parts of the Rio Grande are pretty bad. They're actually going to use this rain, and they're actually going to be happy with getting this amount of rainfall. The only problem is they don't need over a foot of rain possibly coming in only about 12 to 24 hours, so that could spell flooding issues for that area. Here's a look at the total map. You probably can't see it, so I'll just tell you what it says. It's pretty much showing us several areas getting some significant amounts of rainfall. Talking about parts of southern Texas may get possibly 2 to 4 inches of rainfall, but parts of Mexico, especially the inland areas, could get widespread amounts of 4 to 10 inches of rainfall, with isolated areas of possibly 6 to 15 inches of rainfall, especially those higher elevations with the lift of the mountains causing the rainfall to become more heavy over certain locations. So some areas are going to get excessive rainfall. Here's the in total of it. You can see, yeah, once again, some areas getting over a foot of rainfall in northeastern parts of Mexico. It even includes southern parts of Texas around Brownsville. You may get maybe 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. We'll see if that trend continues, but unfortunately doesn't look like the drought areas, parts of northwest Texas and Oklahoma and New Mexico that actually could use the rain badly, unfortunately are not going to receive any rainfall at this time. Here's a look at the projected path on Arlene. Carries it remnants of it as a tropical storm, making landfall probably around dawn tomorrow around Tampico, Mexico. With the forecast suggesting possibly we could have a little bit more room for strengthening, the government of Mexico has now issued a hurricane watch for portions of Mexico, and a tropical storm warning remains in effect for parts of Mexico as the storm begins to move in Thursday morning. It looks like it probably will dissipate as we head into Friday over central Mexico, but the threat for heavy rainfall and mudslides will continue during the next several days. Here's a look right now. Just ignore that picture right over there. Here's a look right now at the forecast intensity map right now. As you can see, it's pretty much keeping it at a marginal tropical system. Now, yes, the ship's model has been keeping it a little bit more intense, maybe around 50 to 55 miles an hour, and that actually could happen. It may have a little bit of time left, but the storm may strengthen, and the latest forecast from the Hurricane Center said this possibly could approach maybe marginal hurricane strength. So that's going to be a situation to watch. Could this possibly strengthen a little bit more? Yes. Do we think it'll be a hurricane? No. Could it become close? Possibly. So we'll continue to watch this situation of whether this storm could possibly strengthen a little bit more because it has enough more time. It's over warmer waters. So we'll continue to watch the situation for you. Another interesting thing I want to point out is here's a look at the Cape Verde Islands right now. The Cape Verde season has not started yet. It won't start until around September into October. But the interesting thing is we're getting these mini waves already coming off the Atlantic Ocean, parts of the African coast right now. But they're way, way too far south to even think of developing. They're running right into South America. They're below 10 degrees latitude right now. Plus, we have one inhibiting factor. You can see, obviously, we have the African Sahara dust, the dust from it right around this area. A lot of dry air in place. That's running into these systems, even some right here, running into the system. So these systems are not going to have enough time. They're going to run into dry air and get choked out, even if they were trying to go that far north. But the latest one shows there's an impressive model impressive complex around the western parts of Africa, about to move off the coast and until obviously the west. But it's too far west to even think of any development this time of the year. Not saying it could happen, but it's too far to the west to think that it will develop into possibly something. So that pretty much sums it up for your update today. Once again, we're dealing with Tropical Storm Arlene, winds of 50 miles an hour. We'll continue to keep you updated on this storm and other severe weather coverage through the day on our hurricane and talk page. Thank you for joining me. Stay safe.